So I want to talk about what PhD interviews are actually like. So if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Maslick. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There were so many people that helped me out that I want to pay the favor forward to help you out as much as I possibly can. So I created this whole reciprocity project, which is kind of a sharing economy editing platform. But I'm doing all these YouTube videos about what it's like to be a doctoral student, what it's like to do research, all sorts of stuff in terms of motivation and keeping you going and keeping you sort of your head straight in terms of dealing with life and stuff like that. So do check those out. All right, so what are PhD interviews like, or doctoral interviews like? So this is based on my experience, of doing this for a while and being on both sides. So I probably have a little bit of experience with this. It doesn't mean that I'm absolutely perfect with this, but this is just, my insights in terms of what you're going to expect. And I think this is pretty normal across most programs, most disciplines and fields. So there's really there's really kind of, 2 or 3 stages in terms of what a PhD interviews are going to be like in terms of most universities that are out there. And they're divided into different sort of screening processes and screening moments that you're going to expect. So the first screen is going to be getting a sense of whether you're interested in that particular doctoral program. And at that stage, what you're going to be doing is talking to either a doctoral program coordinator or somebody that is kind of like a point of contact at the university. And this is likely going to be done, in this day and age, it's going to be done through Zoom or Skype or something like that, where it's going to be low cost for both people. And you're going to get a sense of what it is and what the different school is like, or different schools are like, and they're going to, give a little bit of a pitch, but, getting a sense of what it's actually like there. And then there is the second stage where you're actually going to talk to several of the faculty. And at that moment, you're going to sort of assess, so first of all, they're going to be assessing you for sort of research abilities and whether you're going to be a good researcher and a colleague. But on the other side, you're going to be trying to make a sense of whether it makes sense for you to go to that institution. So you have to remember that it's both sided. Don't just get caught up in the sense of you are being selected to go to that particular institution. That's not the way that you should be thinking about it, because this is going to be a big part of your life, and you have to sort of make sense whether it's going to be right for you. And then the third stage is what you're going to be doing is you're likely going to get an offer at some point. Maybe you're not going to get an offer because, generally most doctoral programs that are really good, it's going to be like 1 in 10, 1 in 20 get a offer. But somebody's going to give you an offer eventually once you work at it. You've actually done, your work and stuff like that. But at that moment, the ball is in your court, and you should really take advantage of that you have a bargaining power at that moment. And so it should be your chance to interact with the various faculty and, go and actually see the university if you're very serious. About that particular university is, go. I actually have a dog here. I got a couple of dog hair on my lip. All right. So what you should be doing is interacting with, going to the university, getting a sense of what it's like, and just kind of getting a real good idea of what they're trying to do and what they're all about. And so at that moment, it really is, you have a little bit of bargaining power. And so it's time for you to think. It's no longer a dream. It's really, it's come to reality. And so that dream, you have to sort of sit down and think about, is this something that I really want to do? And so you should be thinking about those 2 things, right? First thing is this really something, going into research, going and doing the academic route, becoming a scholar of some sort or a researcher, is that something you should be doing? And then the second thing is this the right place to actually do that? Because you're going to be spending a good amount of time to get to know that particular group or, setting, and you're going to try to understand what they're about. So I would try to get inside information. So the faculty are going to be biased, clearly. And what you want to do is go talk to doctoral students or graduate students and get a sense of who those individuals are. And, you're really going to get some better sense of, the various people that are there. Because if the doctoral students like who they are, or the people that have worked there before, and you can get a sense by maybe contacting old alumni or those people, or just getting a sense of where they went to and what they've done and what kind of people they are, you're going to get a much better sense of what's going on in that program than, actually in talking to the faculty. Clearly, so, one caveat, different institutions change pretty quickly in terms of, the style and stuff like that. We go through these kind of weird moments. Every institution kind of goes through these kind of things, other than the very, very top where they're more static. But a lot of institutions kind of change where there's people coming in and people going out, and it's just you've got some sort of changeover and things like that, and they're very dynamic in terms of the different schools and programs that you're at. So there might be a moment where one institution's very hot, and then it doesn't become as hot 10 years later because of different things that have happened. So just be aware of that, and so get a sense of alumni might say one thing, but then also, triangulate with what the faculty are saying. So if the faculty are well aware that there has been sort of institutional change and things are, really going in a positive direction or maybe a negative direction, you get a sense of that, take that as what it should be. It should be a signal of what's going on. Now, you should really maybe try to just get a sense of the culture when you're there. So that's a good way to, when you're there at the school or when you're actually interacting with people, are people friendly and open, or are they kind of guarded and, they're really angry, kind of that mentality. And if that is the case, really trust your gut and what it's telling you. It's going to be very important for you. So in terms of important tips when you're going through these doctoral interviews and stuff like that, what you should really do is don't just go by the reputation alone. So there's rankings out there. Everybody knows what those are, but those rankings for other than, top portion, I've got actually a blog article, you can look it up, but for a top portion of schools, they don't change that much, but a lot of them will shift around a lot after that sort of top portion. And the reason is that there's marketing involved and, how you sort of play the game of rankings and stuff like that, and which ones you emphasize and stuff. There definitely is a game to it all, and you should be well aware of that. So what people present is different than what they are, and so don't just go by the reputation alone. Really get a sense of who they are, what they're doing. And the other thing you should be well aware of is reputation. It's a lagging indicator. It almost always is. So what does that mean? It means that, it's based on information from the past. So if things are changing rapidly, just get a sense of what they are doing at the institution of what you're trying to do, and really go by that gut feeling. If you feel uncomfortable, that's a good sign that's a sign that it's a good sign that you should be paying attention to that signal, and really get a sense of where you should be. You should be absolutely comfortable, and it should feel normal. It's like a relationship, right? So this is something you don't realize this as a graduate student, but those relationships, when you develop that relationship, it lasts for a long time. It's not just like a 1-year thing. It's like 10, 15 years if it's a good relationship. It's like a marriage. So just really know, and guaranteed it's like a marriage. Everybody's going to tell you that once they've done it for a while. And just get a sense of that. Really understand what is going on. If you feel comfortable, then that's good. If you don't feel comfortable, just weight that accordingly. And then, the other thing is, I should make you point out, is you should never really feel nervous in any of this kind of stuff, right? So if you are made to feel nervous with the interview in terms of, really pressing questions and, all that kind of stuff, it might not be a great, it's all going to be really difficult, and it's all going to be very pressing and questionings, and you're going to be pushed and all that kind of stuff. But you should not feel uncomfortable with this. It's like a job interview, right? You should feel energized, not uncomfortable or feeling bad about yourself. So just go by with that. And, I don't want to say too much more in terms of what you should be doing, but you really go with the sort of feeling of it all and really take that into account. That's going to help you out. Academia is kind of a weird place. There's lots of stuff that goes on that is cultural and things like that, like any other industry and stuff. So just pay attention to that. So with that, give me a thumbs up. What I did is told you a couple of the stages and, got into what PhD interviews are really like and what you're going to experience, and gave you some insights with this video. So give me one of those if you like it. Give me one of those if you think that, I don't know, what should I do if you give me one of those? Maybe I can, golly, if you gave me maybe you can send me some ice cream if you give me a couple of those things. I would love that. That would be awesome. So whatever, I kind of set you up in that moment, right? So now you're going to give me some of those and some of you, whatever. Anyways, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.